What's up, everyone? It's been a while. Welcome to episode number 232 of the Fantasy Focused podcast, brought to you by the Original Hooters in partnership with Monkey Knife Fight. Ryan Levy here with my boys, Derek Tate and Matt Bucks. How you fellas doing?
We got the band back together, and 'tis the season for fantasy football. Hell yeah, it's draft season, baby.
Tate, that was the most Tate-appropriate intro I think I've ever been a part of. I don't know where the inspiration came from. I can call for a few things. Christmas vacation being one. It's September 2nd. It feels like it's August 1st or March 15th. Who the hell knows? But we got football cooking in the kitchen, and Bucky coming to eat.
Speaking of, I just really miss cooking with Bucky. You know, the early days of quarantine, those were just the good days.
That's when everything felt joyous, fun. Let's make this into something. And then as we get into month 6, it tends to change. Eating habits tend to shift. I no longer felt like spending $50 to cook a Cooking with Bucky masterpiece and then head right back to the leftovers for 4 days straight. I had to mix it up. And it'll be back. It's never dead. You know, it's like the old shoulder tap. You know, the guy that shoulder taps you, you think he's not going to shoulder tap you, and then all of a sudden he starts shoulder tapping you. That's Cooking with Bucky, just one big tap.
Look, some of those shoulder taps can actually turn into something a little bit more where somebody gets the old hook around you, like the elbow around the neck, like it looks like it's about to be a sleeper hold. Rick Murray has perfected that.
Yes.
Shout out to Rick Murray. He gets you in that hook and you're done for a good 25 minutes.
It is a good hook. Real good chicken when we push you in there.
We are full-fledged in draft season, fellas. I think I'm on like my 6th draft. I got one starting here in about 2 minutes. I'm sweating already. I'm picking from the 9-hole half-point PPR, but we got a lot of news, like recent news. Leonard Fournette gets cut. That's pretty big news.
Yeah, I'd say that's a bomb for anybody that's already completed their drafts. And I feel like, Levy, you said you're in the midst of or completed 6 drafts. I feel like you're more so a girl in the movie American Pie when they're talking about how many people they've actually had sex with. It times that number by 3, and that's normally the number you really are as far as fantasy football drafts go.
Tate, how long have you had that written?
I know that was just came to my mind. That is a
beautiful joke.
Thank you. You didn't even laugh, but it worked.
Because he took my breath away with it, man.
Oh, that was good. That was good. Well timed.
Well, thank you. But in all seriousness, man, Uncle Lenny, no longer a Jag. We didn't even make it to week 1, and he's already breaking fantasy owners' hearts. I guess it's better to know, and you can come up with some sort of contingency plan rather than being dropped with that bomb in week 2 or 3.
I mean, I feel like they gave him a raw deal. It's just a weird situation. They say they tried to get a 6th-round pick for him, 5th round, but they couldn't get anything for him. So you wait till a week and a half before the season starts and leave him out on the streets? It's insane.
I don't think you could get anything for him, though. He cleared waivers. If somebody wanted him, they would have paid $4 million this season for him on waivers.
Something does seem weird, but it sure as hell ain't what's happening with the Jags, considering 31 other teams didn't claim him off waivers. This is a 1st-round draft pick. This is a guy who maybe hasn't reached his full potential, but he's been a productive running back, and I'm sure he could find a suitable spot in, name probably 17 offenses in the NFL, to be quite honest, considering his skill set. But he goes through. Obviously, teams are going to play chicken in that scenario, but the fact that one team isn't going to bite, something's up with whatever's happening with Lenny on a personal level in that locker room. And that sucks because I drafted him in the 3rd round of, I believe, one of our listeners' leagues.
Yeah, you did for sure. What I was going to say, though, do you guys think it's a talent thing or is it an attitude thing?
Oh, it's definitely not a talent thing. I mean, come on, dude. I mean, I get that Leonard Fournette hasn't, considering the guys that he was drafted with, as far as Christian McCaffrey, Dalvin Cook, Alvin Kamara, people are looking at him as like he's been this absolute bust of a pick. Granted, in correlation with where the Jags took him at number 4 overall, you can definitely make that argument. But I think that the Jacksonville franchise is clearly trying to tank, and they didn't really do a good job building the offensive line in front of them. They never really had competent quarterback play. I mean, they basically started mortgaging the entire defense, and his entire NFL career, he's been running into 8-man fronts as much as any other running back, only there with Derrick Henry last season for guys that saw 250 or more carries. So it's definitely not a talent thing, man. It's just more so that he's a good early down back on a terrible team that's going to be throwing the ball quite a bit, and a team that is clearly trying to tank for Trevor Lawrence or Justin Fields.
Look, for people drafting this weekend, you got to be nervous. Like if you're drafting at 8 and, Clyde Edwards-Helaire is there, you're drafting on Saturday night, Sunday morning, you wake up and you find out, Kansas City signs Lenny for $2 million. I know the job is likely still Edwards-Helaire's based on what we're hearing out of camp and how he's looked great, but this signing of Leonard Fournette, inevitable signing of Leonard Fournette, is going to make a lot of fantasy owners sick. Somewhere, no matter where he ends up, it's going to be a shitty situation. Whether it's Philly or New England, wherever he ends up is not going to be great for fantasy owners.
Yeah, I mean, you start looking around the league, and I don't want to dive too much into it, but off the top of your head, Bucks, what's the best landing spot to salvage Leonard Fournette's fantasy value for 2020?
Are we salvaging in terms of overall offensive production for the unit, or are we talking about pure opportunity? Because when I look at pure opportunity, I think Washington probably makes the most sense. I feel like he could fit in there and do a good job. You look at that depth chart, for me, it seems like that would be a great substitute for the inevitable, or maybe just never injured Adrian Peterson. So we'll see here. We'll see what happens.
Levy, anybody come to mind?
I just feel like he's going to end up in Kansas City for some reason, because there's really no other backup there that's suitable. I mean, I know I've said some good things about DeAndre Washington as a pass catcher and all that, but
you sure have.
You said he was going to catch 40 passes this year.
Did. You sure did.
Right, but if they sign Lenny, that's obviously not going to happen.
Even if we don't sign Lenny, that's not going to happen.
I still think it's going to happen. I will put money on that. Should we make that our first bet of the year?
Yes, I will absolutely do that. And I hate to take your money already.
Put it on the whiteboard.
Where's the whiteboard, dude?
It's right behind him.
I got a 50 spot on that, dude. There's no way in hell DeAndre Washington catches 40 passes this year. No shot in hell. I got the under.
39.5 you have to set it at.
That's fine. I'll take the half.
Yes,
sorry, I'm going to write it on the board right now while you move to the next topic.
I'm not moving to the next topic. Let's keep making fun of you for that, because that's awful. No, I'm kidding.
Where do you see Fournette take?
So where I would like to think that he would represent probably the best value immediately is a team that also kind of makes sense as far as competition for running back. I still think that Leonard Fournette's a better running back than Ronald Jones in Tampa Bay. Like, I really, truly believe that Tampa Bay would make a hell of a lot of sense. Yes, you have Tom Brady there in an embarrassment of pass-catching riches on the outside, but you add a physical specimen that still is Leonard Fournette, and this offense, I mean, I know the offensive line isn't great, but I mean, they're just so overwhelming with talent all over the place. And Brady, who's going to get you in the best possible play every single snap. I just think it's a match made in heaven if you could get Fournette in the door. I think he's better than Ronald Jones.
Can I counterpunch that?
Of course.
Yes.
I don't think he is necessarily a competitor with Ronald Jones, but I feel like, yes, if Lenny Fournette came to the Bucs, I would assume he's going to get the majority of first and second down reps. But the signing of Shady McCoy, in my opinion, is just picture perfect for a guy like Tom Brady. So I feel like Ronald Jones will be able to do enough. If he can just step up, he's going to have to put in some receiving work for sure. You know how old Tommy likes to do things. But I feel like why risk it when, you have a pretty suitable number 2 there already with Shady McCoy. And then not to fail to mention Keyshawn Vaughn, who you just invested in. So I don't know. I don't really see Fournette as a fit in terms of the way that the front office of that team and the Buccaneers is going to be looking at things. You know what I mean? I just feel like it kind of makes sense, the makeup of the backfield as it exists. And I'm not sure that they'd be willing to risk whatever it would take. However, Fournette has said he wants to go to a competitor. So I say the Bucs are pretty damn good competitors this season.
As far as pure opportunity goes, I agree Washington is the one that makes the most sense. That's a team that should heavily, he's a souped up version of Adrian Peterson at AP's current, talent level. I'm not disrespecting AP. He's a legend. I am. Yeah, you're right. I'm trying not to disrespect him, but I am disrespecting him. I'd rather have Leonard Fournette than Adrian Peterson at this point in their careers, though. If I'm just being real, I think it's not really much of a contest, even though Adrian Peterson's great, but, his best days are behind him. If there's other teams that are kind of coming to mind, are we really sold that Kenyon Drake is a true workhorse back? I know that we saw like a nice game or two from Chase Edmonds, and Kenyon Drake was fantastic to finish the year last season. But I tell you what, Fournette with the 1-2 punch that Drake and him could create, I think that would be very formidable to complement Kyler Murray, the RPO concepts, and of course DeAndre Hopkins on the outside.
Yeah. I'm still riding for my Richmond Spider guy, Chase Edmonds, for sure.
I just get this weird feeling he's going to end up in Philly, and
never mind Fordham. He was the Ram.
Who
was the Spider? Who was the Richmond Spider? It was Fordham.
No idea.
I hate when I miss the references. I felt like there was a good back. I'll look it up, Derek. You continue.
No, that's
hey,
fun.
Real quick, I just want you to know our bet is void if Lenny Fournette ends up in KC.
That's
because that's not fair.
I've got a 1 in 30 chance of that actually happening. So it's fine. I'll live with that if that happens.
There was some scary news on old Kamara there this week, but it looks like all is well in New Orleans.
Hugs and kisses. They're okay. Whatever. Alvin Kamara scared the shit out of me there for a second. How about a heart attack? They dropped that information right when Lenny passed through waivers. So, and dude, Leonard Fournette, prior to being drafted into the NFL, mentioned that he would like to play with the Saints, played his college ball at LSU. I don't think it was all that far-fetched to kind of start, piecing some of that together. But, it turns out it was probably just a move to nudge these negotiations a bit further, quicker, all that stuff on both ends for the Saints and Alvin Kamara. So I'm glad, because I was scared shitless. I had like one share of Latavius Murray.
Yeah, for sure. There's a lot of guys that were talking holdout, Dalvin and Joe Mixon. I know Mixon got a new deal. So just, still playing on the rookie deals.
I just think it's very hard to try to siphon through. And by the way, you're saying Clyde Edwards-Helaire, all the great stuff coming out about him at camp. What rookie has been talked about in a negative light with any of the beat writers, with any of the stuff that you find on the internet? It's all coach speak. It's all, they look great. Oh, they this, that, and the other thing for the most part. Maybe a couple disparaging comments here and there, but for the most part, dude, it's all, they look great. They're diving into the playbook. No one works harder, like all that coach speak shit that is very hard to get through, and we can't actually get our eyes on these players and the reps that they're getting in the first team offenses. So, dude, it's going to be a lot. It's like, I feel like a fantasy football meteorologist. I told Bucks this before. I don't know what the hell I'm predicting when it comes to these rookies in their first week 1 involvement.
Well, that's like for me in my draft so far, as I'm on the clock here. I've been avoiding rookies as much as I can, except for Helaire. Tate, you got in my head, and I found myself at the end of the first round willing to throw the dart, because earlier in the offseason, I saw him going earlier in drafts, and now he seems to be falling towards the back half of drafts. So what do you think about that?
Back half of the first?
Yeah. That's what I meant. Back half of the first.
That's fine. Okay. I just wouldn't. You got to draw the line somewhere, and I wouldn't start taking Clyde Edwards-Helaire over the likes of. Now that Alvin Kamara looks like he's going to play, I wouldn't take him over Kamara. I wouldn't take him over Cook, and I wouldn't take him over Derrick Henry. So I think you just got to draw that line and not get too bought into the hype. Even though I love his situation, couldn't love it anymore if I tried.
Yeah, when you have that perfect marriage of a system and a talent that fits that system, at a certain point, you just have to concede and say, look, I haven't seen it on film, haven't seen preseason, haven't had nearly as many reps as you would going into a full regular NFL season. Look, the situation's too good. You think that offense is just going to take any significant steps back at all? If anything, with his addition, they move forward. So at a certain point, you have to just buy into that. And, that's what I've been trying to utilize going into this type of draft. The rookies are actually going pretty hot and heavy in these drafts. There's a few players out there that a lot of folks are just really sniping, owning in on, and I really feel that it's going to be a crapshoot, but the talent and the system fits for some of these players. This has to have been one of the best offensive drafts in terms of fantasy and the situational aspect here that we've had in recent past.
I felt like a lot of the receivers didn't really hit home runs as far as their landing spots, though. I mean, CeeDee Lamb goes into a situation where there were two very good receivers from last season. Obviously Cooper better than Gallup, but Gallup was still very, very good. He just led the league in drops. But point being, there's a lot of talent that came out in this NFL draft. And one name that really I've seen fly all over the board is Jonathan Taylor. Some people already believe this dude's a top 10 running back, like from day one, as far as like a fantasy top 10 back. And I want to pump the brakes because I do think he'll win the job and will be the primary ball carrier at some point in 2020. But Marlon Mack is still there, and Nyheim Hines is the best pass catching back that they have. And P-Riv, is going to check it down to your boy Nyheim on a regular basis, at least to start the season until Jonathan Taylor proves trustworthy in pass pro and catching the ball out of the backfield.
Yeah, I'm not ready to call him a top 10 back this year. I agree. I think ultimately he does win the job at some point this season. But everything you hear out, and again, it's coach speak and this and that. We haven't seen it, but everything you hear about Marlon Mack, he's looked great so far, and he's going to initially start the season. It's going to be a 1-2 punch. Like it's probably going to be a hot hand situation. So for me, I'm not really willing to invest a 3rd round draft pick in Jonathan Taylor right now. It just doesn't feel right in redraft leagues.
I agree with you there. But once you get, in my opinion, into, say, a 14-teamer, I'm looking a bit more heavily there at the back end of the 3rd round.
Fair. We're all big 14-team league guys.
God, man, we're doing this 18-team guillotine.
Oh,
this thing is brutal. Tate has 17th pick. I had 18th. I'm looking at my ability to draft, and I like to think I did a decent job in most drafts, and then try picking 18th in a standard league.
Dude,
it is brutal.
The fact that it's standard is what really kills this league.
It screws everything up, man.
Tate, can you explain to the people what a guillotine league is for our listeners out there?
So it's pretty simple. It starts with, there's 17 weeks in an NFL season. So you have 18 teams, and by the time you get to week 17, there's only 2 remaining, which means every single week, the lowest scoring team is out of the league. They're eliminated. So there will be a team that drafted and went through this whole process and made it 1 whole week. So you got to take so many things into consideration when you're trying to build your lineup for this. I love the strategic part of it. That part is awesome because you're having to make sure that you have at least decent matchups for the first couple weeks. And you also have to pay attention to bye weeks. Before you could just punt a week. Like if you had 4 players that you love, but they all had a bye week on week 8, you're just like, all right, well, whatever. I'll just have a week in that given game. But no, you can't do that in this league. If you have 3 players on a week 5 bye, you're screwed. So it's just picking in standard though, where you're just so reliant on touchdown production, which is damn near impossible to predict, by the way. And you're picking at 17, 18. Oh, God. It was awful.
So what happens to the team that loses and they're out, right? What happens to all their players?
No, that is actually the most interesting part of it. Everybody's got a $200 or $100, whatever amount you set at for a free agent budget to bid on players. You can either go super aggressive in the early on to make sure that you can get a stud from a team that just got ousted, or you can try to hold that money until teams start getting eliminated that already blew their budget. And once teams start getting eliminated with these stacked rosters, you're the only person with a significant amount of money left to be able to poach these stars and really build a massive, like just a stud ass team. There's so much strategy involved. I'm interested to see how it plays out.
So I actually went week 11 buy heavy, thinking if I can just hold out hope, hold on to my monies, and then come over the top and just crush everybody. That's the game plan for me.
I mean, you got to make it there.
I just realized I drafted 4 players in the 11th week.
You know what, Tate? You scared me because I didn't even look to see what anyone's bye week was. I'm an idiot.
I'm glad it's not early is all I'm saying.
I mean, it's not something where you should like, okay, well, this player has the same bye week as like my first round pick, so I can't take them. Like, of course you can. It's just you put yourself in a pinch.
Not really though, Tate. Like if you
11, yeah, not
mess up, and it's like you're taking week 4, week 5, week 6. Oof.
Yeah, not week 11. I mean, that's a fine strategy. If you went, okay, I'll just pick everybody with late bye weeks. If you did it by accident, then you lucked out. But
I'll just say I did it.
Well, I mean, I'll say this too. It made it very difficult that we were doing this guillotine draft, and we're picking at 17 and 18. Bucks and I were. So, like, first off, I knew he was going to start sniping some of the guys I liked, and second, we also had like the likes of Kenyon Drake and Miles Sanders still on the board, but mostly because Sanders is dealing with a week-to-week injury, lower body extremity that they're not really disclosing much information on. And Kenyon Drake at the time was walking around in a walking boot. Yeah. So how you can, like, if either of these guys or both miss week 1, your team is screwed. You might as well just hand over whatever the buy-in is and just say, have a nice season. Because
I'm going to start Hunter Renfrow at running back if all things come pushed over. We're going to be good.
Well, I mean, I did a draft last night, and Kenyon Drake fell to the 3rd round.
I mean,
in a 12-man league, like if that's your RB3, if you went running back heavy, that's insane.
Well, I think again, part of what it has to do with though is that Kenyon Drake has been walking around in a walking boot and hasn't been practicing. I think that's part of the slide. I mean, it also depends on who else was on the board when they're picking in round 2. So, I mean, for me, Kenyon Drake's worth the risk in round 3. I don't think it's anything serious. So,
yeah.
Congratulations. You got him at a significant discount.
No, it wasn't me. I was just like, wow, I can't believe he just fell that far.
So you passed on him in the second as well?
What's that?
So you passed on him in the second as well?
I did. Actually, I don't even remember who I drafted at this point. I'm in so many leagues, but yeah, I did because, I got to spread the bullets around. I already got enough shares of Kenyon Drake, so I had to diversify the portfolio a little bit.
This risk-averse approach is not something built for the Tater.
See, I could have gone Eckler there. Chris Carson's still a question mark. I'm not in love with James Conner. Fournette, not even playing for that team anymore. Those are the 4 running backs after. I don't love Eckler in a standard format. I like Kenyon Drake with this offense. I think Philadelphia's offense, look, if they're just being precautious, at least they're not playing a preseason game and just get, an ACL all of a sudden.
Right.
I'm okay with it. These are guys who have proven their worth in the NFL. And when I'm picking 18th and 19th, I like them better than the other 4 picked after them. So I'm good with it.
Yeah, I mean, I went with Lamar Jackson because I thought that you might swipe him because of the injuries to those 2 running backs. So I just wanted to make it 1 week. I want to make it 1 week, and if I can plug some holes, then there we go. I want to get 1 dub, as Will Jenkins would say, who's joining us live. All Tater cares about is winning. You're damn straight.
The SS Tater has a lot of holes you got to plug.
Oh yeah,
that ship is going down, Jerry.
It's a sinker. But so speaking of which, though, we're going to play some games with Monkey Knife Fight. You know, I know that we talked a little bit about Leonard Fournette and some of our guillotine drafts. And if you guys have any draft questions that are tuning in live right now, go ahead and hit us in the comments section. We'd love to answer any, questions that you have pertaining to your draft, keepers, etc. Go ahead and hit us in the comments section. But boys, monkey knife fight, it's prop bet time. And if you have not yet done so, let me go ahead and throw up this graphic just so you can go ahead, follow the instructions in the top left-hand corner. Go to monkeyknifefight.com, create an account, use the promo code FOCUS when you make your first deposit of $50 or more, and your boys over at Monkey Knife Fight will actually go ahead and credit your account with an additional $50. Of course, being me, I've already done that, and I already burnt through that free $50 because I got a little heavy with some of the NBA prop bets. I got a little excited, and I screwed up. So guess what? I'm sticking to what I do best, which is football, baby.
Let's go.
So let's.
It's the first time I've ever done it season long. First time.
It's weird. And guys, I'm gonna just kick it off with this to start off. Are you guys scared because of the coronavirus that some of these season-long prop bets are dicey as all hell?
Here we go. I just before we came on here, I had the pleasure of interviewing Mr. Nick Solsky, the president of Monkey Knife Fight, and this is something we talked about. It was one of my questions about the COVID era in fantasy sports. If a team misses an entire week, if the whole team misses the week, your season-long prop bet will be void. If a player misses a week, they treat it just like an injury. If they only miss a week or two, whatever, your prop bet is still live. So keep that in mind. It could be an absolute shit show in the NFL. Hopefully an entire team doesn't miss a game, and hopefully it's more of a case-by-case basis. But I just wanted to note that.
Tater, are they testing your hair currently? Because that thing looks bulletproof. You did the most violent head action going into this betting section. Your beautiful hair didn't move an inch.
I'm starting to experiment with hairspray. And,
yes.
I knew it. I knew it.
Yep.
I love it, dude.
Got to make sure it doesn't get on the forehead, though. Otherwise, I'm glistening and I'm blinding our viewers. But point being, look, I am stoked about this. So, and you're going to notice some on some of these DFS prop bets. And by the way, check them out on monkeyknifefight.com. And if football's not your forte, then go ahead and check. They have DFS games for everything. So, but let's focus right now on some of the season-long prop bets for the NFL. And it kicks off with two of the best signal callers in the National Football League. Patrick Mahomes, his over-under, or more or less, my apologies, 4,478.5 yards, more or less for Patrick Mahomes. And then also your boy Tommy Brady, now for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, 4,150.5 yards for season-long passing yardage. So I don't know about you. I mean, without going into the analysis, I'm punching more on both of these guys. I think that these are very attainable yardage numbers for both quarterbacks.
Yeah, my quick analysis. Patrick Mahomes, you could put him at 4,800, and I'd still punch the more button. I just believe in this guy more than anyone in the league. I think he's going to throw for 5,000 yards this year, and he might even throw 50 tutties. He might mess around and throw 50. We'll see. But I mean, Brady, I think that's the one that's obviously. I mean, the number's lower for a reason, right? The weapons are there. And we know Arians likes to air it out, so I'm gonna go with you on that and say more as well.
Yeah, I got to punch more on both of them here. Mahomes, even with he dislocated his knee, missed a couple of games. Did he play 13 or 14 last year, Tate?
He played 14, but he finished 13.
Okay, so he finished 13, and what did he come in at? Over 4,000, right? Yeah. He's got that. He's gonna probably throw for 45, 46. So that'll be a close one, though, depending on how they adapt the offense going into, they have the big target on their back. So we'll see. But I'm still punching the over. Brady is a no-brainer for me. Complete no-brainer. Has he ever had a better core of pass catchers than he has now?
No.
He is older. He's an old-ass man. But old-ass men who just chuck the rock to guys that haven't even made their break yet, they usually do pretty good in the league. I'm going with Tommy over.
So, and the reason why I said I'm going more, I agree with all the points that both of you guys just made, but we're talking about Tom Brady just last year. He almost hit this yardage total with the likes of a banged up Julian Edelman, no tight end to speak of, James White coming out of the backfield, and the hodgepodge of group of other wide receivers, Mo Sanu, N'Keal Harry, whatever.
Don't talk shit about my guy Sanu.
He got cut today.
Yeah, he got cut. So I am
Guess
talking
what? He'll be on the Bills before sunrise. Circle the wagons, Mohamed Sanu.
That's our next live show, is talking about how Mo Sanu just got scooped by Buffalo.
I'll go live at 3 a.m. if the Bills scoop Sanu.
But for when it comes to that, dude, if you Brady prior to this too, man, 6 of the last 9 seasons, he topped 4,150 yards passing. And one of those 3 seasons that he didn't was the year that he got suspended 4 games. Brady is going to smash that over if he is going to stay healthy. And I expect that he will, because he's a quarterback that just, avoids injury and is as durable as all hell. When it comes to Patrick Mahomes, Levy, he almost got to 4,400 yards passing, and he missed 2.5 games, essentially. So, right. And the weapons, they didn't get any worse. If anything, Mecole Hardman's a year better. He has a better pass-catching dynamo out of the backfield now, and Clyde Edwards-Helaire, which should help with his reception total and reception yardage. So I think this is easy. Now the real question, boys, how much money am I putting on this?
Yeah, you just inspired me to redeposit. Thanks.
Yeah, man. Baby. I'm going to put a whole 10 spot on it. Let's not go crazy quite yet.
Okay? The problem is you gotta wait so long to get the payout here. I don't have the patience for this.
Well, whatever. Just keep moving. Keep on moving. Keep going. It's good. Close that out. Oh, damn it. Now I got to go all the way back. I'll wait till after we're done to redo some of these PX. All right, cool. No, is that the only one I'm allowed to make?
No. Go back up and press new game again.
Oh, sorry. I'm using the function. Sorry. It's not that Monkey Knife Fight is hard to navigate.
You just know how often I use it. So I'm like, I know it like the back of my hand.
All right. So some of these games going next.
Hold up. Adam Schefter, former Jaguars running back Leonard Fournette, is signing with the Buccaneers, per source. Holy shit.
Oh my God.
Oh, Tyler just reported it too. Hell yeah.
Is that real?
Yeah, it's real. I mean, let me double check.
Holy shnikes.
Yeah, it's Adam Schefter.
As a Bucs fan, I'm cool with it, but I'm not cool with the shares of Rojo that I have.
Hold on a second.
Tate, don't slide into your DMs, man.
I'm not. Hold on a second, though. Adam Schefter. I got to make sure that this is real. Adam Schefter Fournette. It's one of my recent searches. Yup, it's real. Woo. Holy shit. We're doing this live.
Oh, man, that's wild.
Whoa.
Leonard Fournette is a Tampa Bay Buccaneer.
My dynasty team just took a hit. Damn you, Ronald Jones, you bum.
Man, I'm sweating. I'm sweating.
My dynasty team, I guess, does that mean I have Leonard Fournette? Does that mean it got better?
You're going down, Derek.
Yeah, baby. Yeah, let's do this. Anyway, damn, that's crazy, though. Okay, so let's say, Levy, you're drafting right now. What does that do for Leonard Fournette's value?
Let me see if he's still there, because if he's there, should I get him? I'm in the 7th round right now, and I'm on deck.
Man, does a bear shit in the woods?
Oh, yeah, dude. He's there. I'm going to take him here in the 7th round. Buccaneer fever, baby.
God.
Did you just scoop him 7th round?
Weird. I'm on deck. 30 seconds left. I'm hoping.
Guess what, man? Twitter news breaks quick.
Oh, yeah. What a time for a draft. I just drafted Lenny Fournette in the 7th round as a Bucs fan.
We got Tyler and Victor coming in with some hot breaking news. I love it, man. We have the listeners coming in doing the dirty work for us, reporting on the internet stuff, Bucky on the interwebs while we're doing the live show. It's freaking fantastic day to be a Tampa Bay Buccaneer.
Well, wow. my phone vibrated, but I'm trying to do this thing where I don't look down at my phone. But I saw the little tweet thing, and I was like, oh, shit.
Unreal, man. Brady. Well, now in Guillotine, I'm screwed, though, because I drafted Rojo as my RB2. Great.
Damn, I forgot I drafted him now. My team is looking sick.
Damn it. All right. Well, anyway, I mean, So where does Leonard Fournette fall? Does it really even move his value at all as far as where you were taking him when he was a Jacksonville Jaguar?
Not at all. It actually increases it, in my opinion, because he showed that he can catch the ball out of the backfield last year. And look, I think that was kind of the audition that Bruce Arians was probably looking at and saying, look, we don't need to only be a team that can pass with one back in the backfield. Fournette's the guy who can catch the damn ball and do something with it. So, oh, man. I think it improves the stock.
I mean, that's a stacked backfield now. Like, what's going to happen? One of these guys is going to get cut. Are we going to go cut Shady McCoy now?
I don't know.
Yes, you absolutely go and cut Shady McCoy.
I feel like he's fitting in pretty well with the boys down there in Tampa Bay. I don't know about it.
Why'd they go and sign Leonard Fournette then? Like, they're not going to cut Rojo. They're not going to cut Keyshawn Vaughn. I mean, McCoy was barely – he wasn't even active for the AFC Championship game or the Super Bowl last year under Andy Reid, the guy who drafted him. So, come on, dude. This is a significant upgrade for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I can't believe I spoke it into existence earlier.
You really did. And I tried to denounce it, saying the situation was pretty good for the Bucs. Well, this is just that beautiful cherry on the milkshake and not the type that Tate likes to talk about.
Yeah, we'll avoid that one. You're right. It's not that type of brand. It's not that type of shake. So
yeah, it's one Fournette, one cup type of thing.
So yeah, Levy, let us know if you actually get a chance. Did you actually take?
I took him in the 7th round. I wasn't lying.
That's wild.
Wait, so the guy before you didn't capitalize on it?
No, and I took him, and everyone's like, "What are you doing?" I just said, "Go Bucks."
Oh, yeah, that's beautiful, dude.
Yes,
what was their response now that they've seen it?
I can't even keep up, man. It's hard to multitask podcasting and drafting at the same time.
Listen, I'm asking. I want to know the response. Tate and I can handle this from here.
Just wows. Couple wows in here. Couple wows.
Yep.
Exclamation mark. Yeah.
Everybody
good.
instantly hates you too. How's that feel?
I just got him as my RB4.
Who's your 1, 2, 3?
I've got Edwards-Helaire, Eckler. Actually, I don't really like this team. Edwards-Helaire, Eckler, David Johnson, and Fournette as my 4 running backs.
What's wrong with that stack?
I'm just not. This is the first time I've taken David Johnson all offseason.
Are you nervous about a Texans running back eclipsing 1,000 yards and scoring 5 touchdowns?
I took him as my RB3.
Kind of high look.
I took him as my RB3, but I'm not crazy about how my receivers shaped out. Then I've got DJ Moore, Sutton, and Devontae Parker. So.
I don't know what to tell you. I love that stack. I'm all about that.
Thank you.
You talk about we're in draft season and we're going to be hitting the damn grind when we're coming out with our live shows every Sunday, 11 a.m. Eastern. We will be here. I just can't wait. This kind of feels like that live mojo that we usually have.
It's my favorite thing of the year.
You get a little Lenny Fournette, little Salt Bay on their asses, and all of a sudden we're all sprouted up here like little blossoming tree seedlings, saplings. That's what we're doing here. We're all nectar for the fantasy gods.
Oh, I love it. All right, let's get back into some props, all right?
All right, let's do it. So we already talked about Patrick Mahomes, so we already got the more on him, but 3 other players, 2 pass catchers in particular. Michael Thomas at 1,396.5 yards, more or less. Derrick Henry, 1,374.5 rushing yards. And then Julio Jones, I think this is the trickiest of all these prop bets for the season, is Julio at 99.5 receptions, more or less. Levy, I'll throw it to you first, pal. Do we want to just go one at a time, or do you just want to let them rip all down the line?
I say one at a time is probably easier to consume. Go around.
Okay, so let's go Michael Thomas.
I am going to say more. That's a really high number, but we know what this guy is capable of, and the targets are certainly going to be there. I'm not afraid of the target share dipping too much because of Emmanuel Sanders. So I will still go more on Michael Thomas.
Did you just say Juan Emmanuel Sanders? That might be my new nickname for him. Juan Emmanuel?
Yep.
Kind of like if I were to say Kyle Wash not coming in and saying, I say Dare. instead of Dare. Dare Ogunbowale.
What is Ogunbowale up to? He's still a Buck?
I just know he's my kickoff return specialist in Madden 21. That's the peak of his 2020 season.
So you purchased Madden this year?
I did, and I wanted to I wanted to check and see if I still have the chops online. And I
wanted to see if the game still had the chops, because the last time I bought it, I hated it.
I don't hate it at all. I think that there's still some buggy type shit that goes on with it. Yeah, it's not perfect, but I just like competing in a football simulation.
Yeah, when you're at the elite level that I am, those bugs will really bite you in the ass. It's like a mosquito.
Yeah, if you're not about bugs, then you may want to stay away from Madden 21.
Mosquito 2021.
But when we're talking about Michael Thomas in particular, Bucky. Thomas has only missed one game in his entire NFL career. And I don't, like Levy already mentioned, his target share isn't going to go down. Drew Brees is still there pulling the trigger, still checking it down to Michael Thomas. They are featuring him in the passing game. Assuming now that Alvin Kamara is going to be there, you have to respect him out of the backfield. And of course, they got Manny Sanders and a host of other receivers that are able to spread the field and kind of get some of that bracket coverage away from Michael Thomas. So, I think that this is, if he's healthy, it's an easy yes.
And I also think Troutman's going to play a little bit in the slot as well. So I think that's going to help get that separation going for Michael Thomas. I struggle with this. It's such a high number. I'm used to playing monkey knife fight. I'm going to go less only because they know something I don't. But I understand completely going more here. There's no doubt in my mind. I think Michael Thomas is the best receiver in the league.
The general monkey knife fight strategy is to just always smash the less button because it's so tempting. Like, life is too short to bet the less. But, it's successful in NASCAR. I'll tell you that. If you just go less in NASCAR, you're going to win.
I'm biased from experience.
I just look at a guy that, it's one thing if there's a guy riddled with injury history and they're trying to set these season-long over-unders. It's just that we've seen Michael Thomas hit that 1,400-yard mark, and he just basically had a season for the ages in a lot of ways. And I just think that he built on that. So I have a hard time imagining that if the Saints are Super Bowl contenders, that Michael Thomas isn't going to go for 1,400 yards receiving. Just too much volume for him not to hit that number.
Fair enough.
Speaking of volume, Derrick Henry, 1,374.5 yards, more or less. There were actually 3 running backs last season that topped that mark. But what scares the hell out of me, guys, about this number for Derrick Henry is last year was his career year. And I understand that he is an absolute monster once he gets rolling. But it's not exactly every season that we see a running back run for that amount of yardage. It's only been done from like 2016 to 2018. It was done twice, both times by Zeke. So it's a high number. What do you guys think?
I'm going to go less.
Oh, yeah. Duke it out.
Yeah, I just, like you said, that's a really high number. I know last year was career high, and the carries are certainly going to be there, but I don't know that I see that in back-to-back seasons. Trust me, I'll still take this guy in the first round, but I'm happy with a 1,200-yard season out of him. 1,375 yards is a lot of yards, like you said.
They don't have Jack Conklin anymore.
I think that this is a significant loss.
Huge loss.
People are overlooking that. And I know that Taylor Lewan's still there, and I know that they're still going to run their offense and feature Derrick Henry, but he also had over 300 carries last year. Not that he's ever really shown any signs of wearing down or anything of that nature. He is a bell cow workhorse back that people make business decisions later in games to stay away from trying to hit this man. But I that's such a high number. I'm taking the less. Like, it's not that Derrick Henry's not capable of rushing for 1,700 yards in a season. I just think that that's astronomically way too high. And then this one's really interesting because you can make an argument both ways. Julio Jones, 99.5 receptions. Last year, he caught 99 balls, and I think it was 15 games played. And, I mean, they did get rid of Mo Sanu. They got rid of Austin Hooper and replaced him with Hayden Hurst, which I think is a significant downgrade. They don't have a pass-catching back. Like Ito Smith, maybe if he stays healthy, but I mean, Gurley, they've already come out and said that they want to keep his touches between 15 to 25 a game. So he's probably not going to do a ton of work out of the backfield. So the target should be there for Julio, even if you think Calvin Ridley's going to have a breakout year. But Levy, tell me I'm crazy here. I just, that 99.5 number for Julio, because he gets nicked up a little bit, still just makes me very uneasy.
Yeah, I mean, look, 2018, he had 113. 2017, 2016, he was in the 80s, though. And then 14 and 15, he was over 100. So if you look at the last 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 3 out of the last 6 years, he's been over 100. And one of those other 3 was at 99, right? So odds are, in my opinion, that he's going to go over, slightly over. I could see like 105 catch, 103 catch season for Julio. But I agree, that's a hard number. So for me personally, I am not putting my monkey knife fight money on this one. I'm staying away from this because the Henry number scares me too. So I'm going to fade this particular play.
Julio less.
It's very, very, very tough because Julio is more than capable of catching 100 passes in a season. It's just the health, man. The health, and he is 1 year older. He's still a freak, but he's still 1 year older. I would go less. I will go less, and I'll enter the money because it's going to make me reload, and I don't want to do that. So
can I interject with a what's bothering Bucky here?
Yeah,
please do.
You said he's just 1 year older, and all the injuries concern you. I feel the same way, man, about myself. Every time I wake up, there's a new problem. It's either my shoulder blade, or it's my neck, or it's my hips. It's like all I did was roll around scaries on the Sunday night waiting for Monday to bite me in the face. And yet I wake up and I feel like I just ran a marathon. And it's the opposite of that. I walked to the burger joint and bought a burger. That's all I did the day before. I walked about half a mile to get a burger, consumed French fries and a large Coke, and then I walked back. That's 1 mile. I wake up, and I truly feel like I've gone through a damn blender. I don't know what's going on. I'm breaking down. So am I going to fire on the under Julio Jones 99.5 as a 31-year-old man who's taken a hell of a lot more hits than I have and has a greater injury history than I have? Greater meaning way worse because I've been relatively healthy. You hit the 30s, 1 year makes a milestone of a difference. I feel like shit all the time.
I hear you on that, man. The recovery time north of 30 is not great.
I'm worried about my golf round Friday. I really am.
Oh, you're going to wake up Saturday sore.
I really want you guys to stop being sissies. I feel great.
I'm worried about just hitting the ball good. Everything's hurting right now. Neck, back, my and my crack, man. Like it's all hitting me hard. Shout out Kesha.
It's Kia.
Kia.
You know, when you said it the first time, Bucky, I thought about quoting that song, that little verse, but you stole it from me this time when you went back to it. So
it was censored though. You probably would have uncensored her.
Oh, I don't know about that. Yeah, come on. We were on Facebook. We're on the FaceTime nowadays. We gotta come. We just gotta pay attention.
You want me to uncensor it?
Well, let's keep it censored. Let's keep it censored. So let's move on to another one. We got Julio Jones. We already talked about, and this one actually says 1,350 receiving yards. So we're talking about Julio's yardage. I mean, Bucky, you push the button. You're putting the down button, but he's been over 1,396 yards each of the last 7 seasons or something crazy. So even if he doesn't catch the volume of passes, I actually am still hitting the over on that number because he's still an explosive vertical threat that seems to just put up 1,400 yards seasons. like, I don't know, like you wake up and brush your teeth every morning. Like it's just automatic when it comes to Julio and the yardage that he hits.
Or I wake up and feel like I got spit out of a blender because I'm over 30, just like Julio Jones. And you need to factor in the fact that 1,400 yards is a heck of a milestone. I know this is 48 and a half or 49. I can't do math. My brain is dead. Anyways, the point is, I don't see 1,350 being a barometer where we're going to get to like, oh shit, it's Julio Jones from the last 6 years. I think it's time for Calvin the Riddler to do his thing.
Like the Jim Carrey version of the Riddler and Batman Forever?
That's correct. Yes, sir.
I hated that iteration.
I really liked it.
Jim Carrey. It was still bad. Brett Vilmaki. Fournette to the Bucks. Yeah, does a bear shit in the woods? Yeah, bring him to Tampa Bay. Fire the cannons.
Everybody wants a piece. Everybody wants to come to Tampa Bay.
Does a Buccaneers shit in the head? Tate, a head is what you call
a bathroom on
a facility on a marine vessel.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Like it literally says head with like an arrow usually.
I thought you just called it the shitter from where I'm from.
You don't really tend to shit on these if you can stand to bear it. Really depends on the plumbing system. There's a lot that goes in actually in the maritime plumbing. I've learned a lot. I've read up on the subject, and I'm not all that impressed with the current makeups of the planning on these vessels currently. But there's some good ones out there. I've just never been on one of those boats.
Me neither.
Levy, you ever taken a number 2 on a boat?
A boat steamer? Yeah, I have.
I know you have.
Guys, we're talking about prop bets, man. Back to topic. Come on, man.
And what do you mean? Come on, man. This is a good topic.
Listen, I will fully put the confidence in my wide receiving core in season-long fantasy in Julio Jones in 2020. And I say more on Julio. History repeats itself. I'm not buying the Ridley hype. Like, there's people that are drafting Ridley as their wide receiver 1 this year. I think he's a nice wide receiver 2. I do think he's going to eclipse 1,000 yards this year, and he's going to be a nice fantasy player. But I sure as hell do not want him as my wide receiver 1 in fantasy.
He's just going to be a little volatile. I mean, there's going to be weeks where he doesn't hit a home run. But, dude, his route running, I thought he really blossomed, and he would have finished inside the top 10 if he stayed healthy last year. He just got a little nicked up towards the end of the season. But Ridley, man, I think he's got like a Chris Godwin type breakout season in the works because of what he can do opposite of Julio Jones. We saw it last year with Chris Godwin opposite of Mike Evans. So I'm not calling he's going to be a top 3 receiver. I just think that there's a strong possibility he slips into the top 10 if he can stay healthy. So, but let's move on to George Kittle. Because 89.5 receptions for George Kittle for the entire season would actually be his career high. Last year he finished at 88, and he missed, I think it was 2 games. So give me your thoughts, Bucky, on George Kittle. Right now, Kendrick Bourne is the number 1 wide receiver for the 49ers to start the season if they don't have Debo and Brandon Ayuk. So the target's got to go somewhere, right?
90 is just still a lot, though.
He caught 88 hurt last year, man.
He's always hurt. He's a trooper. He's an Iowa boy.
I'm smashing the over on this.
Yeah, I am too. I think Debo might actually play in week 1, which is crazy because I've gotten him in like the 10th round in a couple leagues because people thought he was going to miss a significant time. Speaking of, I just got Marlon Mack in the 13th round, which is wild to me as my RB5. But yeah, I'm going to go more on Kittle. What's that?
8-teamer?
No, it's a 12-teamer.
Damn.
I could puke.
The disrespect. Quit roster baiting all over this draft. After on this podcast. Save it for somewhere else.
Sorry. More.
All right, teacher.
More.
I will write on this board you are in detention. Anyway. Point being, I got over for George Kittle. I just don't, if he's healthy, I just don't see that there's any way that he doesn't hit those numbers. The problem is I'm hitting the over on all these things because I just feel like they're going to be able to stay healthy. It's enticing, man. Monkey knife fights get me again.
I won't let them get to me. 90 receptions as a tight end is the dream, right? That's like a perfect season. Right. So you need to think about that and put it into perspective. Do you think San Francisco offense is markedly better this year than last?
I think if they're healthy, absolutely. Actually, okay. I really think that Brandon Ayuk is an upgrade on Emmanuel Sanders. And I say that because I think that Sanders, that's why I've never really understood why everybody's so excited about Sanders in New Orleans, because I'm not super high on him right now. So I think that Ayuk is a very, very nicely gifted receiver that is going to play complement to Deebo Samuel quite well. And you know Shanahan loves his play action, but Kittle is still the Kittle and bits of this offense in the passing attack. He's going to get over 100 targets easily. And if he's going
to net 80% of his targets or receptions.
I think he gets around 120 targets if healthy, 120, 130, somewhere in that range. And yeah,
target hog.
Yeah.
Levy, what's 5 divided by 6?
I have no idea.
Okay, me neither.
Moving on. Yep, math question in the comments. Answer, what is 5 divided by 6? All right, so we got the Julio Jones question, receptions. Again, I had less on that.
83.6%, Derek.
Thank you. Ezekiel Elliott, 1,250.5 rushing yards. Guys, I got this as the easy over. The one season he didn't rush for over this amount was the season that he got suspended 6 games.
Yeah.
That's simple. I'm not overthinking it.
No, it's that simple.
Simple for me, too.
Cool.
And he's already had COVID.
Well, yes. I mean, we say that as a positive, but yes, he has had COVID. And that actually does eliminate him, hopefully, from catching it during the season. So up next, DeAndre Hopkins, 89.5 receptions, more or less. And then Christian McCaffrey, 1,193.5 yards on the ground. So start with D-Hop. Bucky, 89.5 receptions. New offense.
With quite a bit of weaponry.
Right.
I'm still going over. It's D-Hop. He's too good. He's too technical. I'm with it. Over. More.
Levy?
I'm going to go more as well. I just don't. I know they have a lot of weapons in that offense, but obviously no one can hold D-Hop's jockstrap. So, yeah, I'm going to go more. He's a guy that I feel like has been grossly underrated so far in drafts. You can literally get him in the second. I've seen him go in the 3rd round. And this is a guy that last year we were talking about, taking next to Michael Thomas.
Yeah, make no mistake, he's still got that type of talent. It's just a new offensive system, man. Did anybody catch over 89 passes last year? Even Larry Fitzgerald didn't. I mean, I think he came in at 79 receptions. I'm not saying he's the same talent as DeAndre Hopkins, but it's more so, we have Kirk. We have still Larry Fitzgerald that's going to see a plethora of targets. Kenyon Drake's going to be used out of the backfield. I will go more because for a true wide receiver stud, number 1 guy, Hopkins can get to 90.
Why do you pick up a guy like Hopkins? Why do you trade for him?
To throw him the football.
Yeah, because he gets himself open. I'm going with the guy that gets himself open.
Right.
So how about Christian McCaffrey? So new head coach, new quarterback there in town. It didn't matter what quarterback was there last year, whether it was Kyle Allen or Cam Newton. Christian McCaffrey definitely went over 1,193 yards rushing, but does he duplicate it? It was the first and only year he's been over that amount in a season. So it's hard not to go over because he's been the picture of durability, and obviously he's an explosive talent. I think he's the best running back in the National Football League. So that should be easy to obtain, right?
I mean, it's a no-brainer for me, assuming he stays healthy, right? So I'm going to go more as well.
Buck? See, this is the trap, Buck. Look you're already sitting here going to go more.
I'm going less because I'm a Lucky Knife Fight pro.
You are, dude. You are definitely a pro.
That's a trap, dude. I'm looking at it. I'm scared of it. I'm turning away.
What if we were to
down
assume
the same subway corridor right now, and I decide I'm going to bypass my train because old Christian McCaffrey and 1193.5 is staring me down. I'm scared of him.
Maybe we beat the system and just play the strategy, Buck. Like, all these guys are going to get COVID once this year. They're all going to miss a game. Maybe some of them are going to miss 2. So maybe we just fade everyone.
I'm a big fade guy on here, if you haven't realized that.
I mean, personally, Levy, I'm with you, though. I'd be going more if I'm picking right here. So let's do a couple more. I actually got to go to work. So go back to work. I'm already at work. I'm in my suit. Believe it or not, guys, I don't get dressed up like this for the pod. So
don't lie.
I love seeing you guys, and I want to look my best, but
don't lie.
It's true. So here we got Chris Godwin and George Kittle. We already talked about Kittle on the receptions. I got more. Godwin, though, 1,250.5 yards. Guys, I'm going to go under. There's just so many weapons, so many options that I think that they're going to eat into each other's production. Do I think that Godwin gets to 1,000 yards? I do, but I don't. There's going to be too much spreading the football around with Tom Brady pulling the trigger that it doesn't make me feel good about him topping 1,250 yards.
I have a question on this. Do you know offhand Randy Moss's most productive season with Tom Brady?
I mean, yeah, he scored 23 receiving touchdowns. I don't remember the yardage, though.
Yeah, I'm looking for yardage there.
I'll look it up. 1,800 or something crazy?
No, I don't think it's anything that crazy. But what I want to say is I think Chris Godwin is the most talented receiver for the Buccaneers. I think he's better than Mike Evans. I think he's more explosive. I think Tom is just lighting it up with him. I'm looking it up here for Randy Moss. 14. See, here's the thing. 1493. I don't know, man. 1250 seems like it's pretty achievable. Do you guys believe that Godwin is the default wide receiver 1 in this? I think
he's probably the most targeted Buck this year. I mean, if we're talking about pure targets, I think that because of his ability to work in the slot, yes, I do think he's the most valuable receiver on this team. You can make the argument that he's better than Mike Evans for sure. I don't want to go down that road because we could nitpick, but Godwin certainly has a great versatile game, and that will benefit greatly working with Tom Brady. So, I mean,
I'm going less.
It's a reachable number. It's definitely a reachable, doable number. You also have Gronk and OJ Howard and now Fournette, Ronald Jones. Point is, there's a lot of weapons. And I just think that Godwin is part of that cog. He's a big piece of it, but I'm staying away the over on all these players for the Bucs.
Well, let's say, God forbid, he misses 2 games too. I'm going under. Less. I need to get used to the damn less.
I'm going to go less.
Less. Okay. Now this is 5 times your buy-in, and these are all ones that we've already discussed. So
let's do 100x. Let's do the 100x buy-in. Isn't there
There's a 20x right here.
I thought there was 100x.
I'm looking for 100. I only see 20. So it doesn't really make sense because there's only 4 to pick here, and it's 20. I just don't know if I believe that. It says 20 times the prize. I don't believe it, but we've already done all of these. So if you got, we already did like a mini what's bothering Bucky. I just got to get back to work. It sucks.
Wrap us up.
All right, well then I'll go ahead and wrap us up. Look, if this is your first time coming across our channel, go ahead and hit the subscribe button as well as the like button. We really appreciate any and all the support. And look, fantasy football is back. So we're going to be coming at you live every single Sunday, answering any and all of your questions, doing a live Q&A right before the opening kickoffs, Eastern Standard Time, 1 p.m. So join us at 11 a.m. That's when we generally go live to answer any and all of your questions. Again, if you have not yet done so and visited Monkey Knife Fight, go to monkeyknifefight.com, sign up, make your deposit, use the promo code FOCUS to get an additional $50 in your account so you can win some money this fantasy football season here with Fantasy Focus through Monkey Knife Fight. And until next time, everybody, it's great to have the crew back together. I forget what number episode it is, 240 something.
232, close.
Until next time, later, says the Tater.
Hey, we'll see y'all Sundays, 10 days from now. It's on. And I can't wait. That's my favorite time of the season.
Yes.
You just get that juice flowing week 1 where everybody's fully engaged. I can't wait for it, Tate. The hair, electric, spritz, spritz, spray, spray. Feel that flow. Feel that energy. I'll see you all in a bit.
See you guys.
It's the most wonderful time.